It was early morning in a quiet village near Nara. The air was crisp, the streets still sleeping. I was sipping green tea on the porch of my old wooden home when I saw her again. Suko-san, 91 years old. Every morning, she walks uphill to the shrine with nothing but a bamboo cane and a soft smile. No limp, no groan, no complaints, just grace. I once asked her, "How do you do it?" She looked at me, smiled, and said something so simple, so profound. "I respect my legs, so I feed them well." That sentence stuck with me for years, because as a physician, I've treated thousands of patients, young athletes, aging farmers, retired workers. And there's one thing I know for certain. Your legs are the first to betray you. Not your heart, not your memory, your legs. They weaken quietly, they ache slowly, until one day you struggle to stand, to climb stairs, to carry your own body through life. And yet, it doesn't have to be that way. If your legs feel heavy, sore, drained of strength, the answer may not be more exercise. It may not be pills or painkillers either. Could be as simple as what's on your plate. In this video, I'll show you 8 powerful foods backed by decades of science and real-life stories that can help rebuild your legs, boost your energy, and ease pain. And one food in particular overlooked by most that can transform your recovery within just 12 hours. The best part? You probably already have it in your kitchen. So if you're tired of waking up with sore calves, if you miss the ease of walking through your garden, or if you just want to feel strong again, stay with me, because the secret to stronger legs starts from within. 1. The real reason your legs still hurt after rest. A few winters ago, I visited a quiet town in the Japanese Alps called Takayama. It was snowing gently as I stepped into a small wooden home nestled between cedar trees. Inside was Hiroshi, a retired train conductor, now 78. He welcomed me with warm barley tea and a quiet smile, but when he stood to greet me, his legs trembled slightly. He told me, almost whispering, "I sleep well, I don't push myself too hard. But still, my legs feel like stone every morning. What am I missing?" Hiroshi had already done what most people think is enough. He stretched gently. He rested. He avoided overexertion. But his legs were still failing him. That moment reminded me of something I had seen over and over again throughout my career. It's not just aging. It's not just overuse. The real problem often hides in silence. Your muscles are not getting what they need to recover. You see, when you walk, climb stairs, or even just stand for long periods, your muscles develop tiny microtears. This is natural. What matters is what happens after. Your body needs a very specific mix of nutrients to rebuild those fibers, restore strength, and reduce inflammation. But most people skip this part. They rest, but they do not repair. They eat meals that are too light on protein, too low in magnesium, too dry of potassium and iron. They hydrate with plain water but lose electrolytes in the process. And so, every morning their legs ache. Not because of what they did yesterday, but because of what they didn't do after. Hiroshi's story is not unique. I've seen it in teachers, musicians, even monks. Muscles that are ready to recover but left waiting. And here's the lesson. Rest is only healing when it's paired with recovery. You wouldn't expect a building to fix itself without bricks. You shouldn't expect your muscles to repair without fuel. So where do we begin? We begin with food. In the next section, I'll show you why protein alone isn't enough, and what your muscles are really craving when they're sore, tired, and begging for strength. Stay with me. This next part could change how you walk through the rest of your life. 2. Protein isn't enough, what your muscles really crave. A few years ago, I met Elena, a retired ballet teacher from Barcelona who had moved to Kyoto after her husband passed. She was graceful even in her 60s, her posture upright, her voice soft but steady, but her legs were failing her. She came to see me after experiencing months of soreness, despite eating what she believed was a healthy diet. Boiled chicken, leafy greens, plenty of water. "I eat my protein," she said. "I rest, I stretch, but the pain always returns." She was doing everything we're told to do. And yet, She was still exhausted by the simple act of walking to the local post office. When we looked deeper, the answer became clear. Her muscles were not just hungry for protein. They were starving for what helps the protein work. You see, rebuilding muscle isn't just about consuming chicken or eggs. That's only one piece of the puzzle. Muscles also need creatine to fuel their contractions. They need leucine to activate growth. They need iron to carry oxygen. And they desperately need vitamin B12 and choline to support nerve signals and muscle memory. Without those, protein is like bricks delivered to a construction site, with no workers to build the wall. That was Elena's turning point. We shifted her diet slightly, adding salmon twice a week for omega-3s and B12, 1 egg daily for choline, a handful of spinach for iron, and a spoonful of Greek yogurt after her walks. For weeks later, she came back smiling. "I climbed the steps of Fushimi Inari Shrine," she whispered like it was a secret. "I didn't need to stop once." And that's the lesson. Protein is only powerful when you give it partners. On its own, it supports muscle growth. But when combined with the right nutrients, it creates strength, speed, and resilience. If you feel like you're eating well but still feel weak, maybe it's time to ask a deeper question. Am I feeding my muscles? Or just feeding myself? Next, we'll uncover a mineral most people overlook, and yet, it might be the single most effective way to stop cramps and ease muscle pain fast. Let's talk about magnesium, and the story of a man named Calvin, who learned that lesson the hard way. 3. The forgotten mineral that stops cramps instantly. When I first met Calvin, he was sitting on the edge of a wooden bench just outside a small train station in Niigata. He was a 72-year-old former engineer from Chicago who had moved to Japan after retirement to be closer to his daughter. He told me he had taken up gardening in the countryside, something peaceful, something simple, but something was going wrong. "Every time I kneel to plant something," he said, "my legs cramp up like a vice, and when I sleep, it's worse. I wake up twisting in pain. I've tried stretching, drinking more water, cutting down on caffeine. But nothing works." I looked at his hands, calloused from years of fixing machines, strong. But his legs, they had lost their calm, and he had no idea why. We ran a simple test. The answer was as clear as the cold spring air. Calvin was severely low in magnesium. Most people don't realize it, but magnesium is one of the most essential minerals for muscle function. It controls the way your muscles contract and relax. It regulates nerve signals. It balances calcium and potassium inside your cells. Without enough magnesium, your muscles lose control. They clench when they should release. They spasm when they should sleep. And here's the catch: magnesium doesn't get stored in your body like fat or sugar. You have to refill it daily, through food, through balance, through intention. We changed Calvin's habits. A banana with breakfast, a handful of peanuts in the afternoon, a bowl of spinach sautéed with olive oil for dinner. No pills, just food. Within 10 days, the cramps vanished. He wrote me a letter weeks later, saying, "I can finally sleep through the night again, and my tulips are blooming better than ever." That is the gift of understanding. Sometimes the cure is not stronger medicine, it is smarter nutrition. And magnesium is not rare. It lives in the simplest foods: peanuts, avocados, dark leafy greens, even dark chocolate. But it is often forgotten, lost in the noise of trends and supplements. So if your muscles are talking to you in pain, perhaps what they're really saying is this: please, give me what I'm missing. Next, we'll look at a different kind of solution. Not a nutrient, but a natural compound hidden in certain vegetables. A compound that helps carry oxygen deeper into your muscles, enhances endurance, and could change the way you move. Let me take you to a story from the city of Sapporo, and a woman who discovered the power of nitrates through a single glass of juice. For how blood flow changes everything, the nitrate secret. The first time I met Aiko, she was breathing heavily at the bottom of a long stone staircase that led to Hokkaido Shrine in Sapporo. She was in her early 60s, once a ski instructor in her youth. Tall, proud, with a quiet intensity. But now, even a simple climb left her winded. "My muscles are not weak," she said, half defensive. "But it feels like something is missing, like I'm trying to move through mud." She wasn't imagining it. I had heard that same feeling from dozens of patients before, strong in body, yet slow in motion. And there was always one common thread: poor circulation. You see, your muscles don't just need strength. They need oxygen. And oxygen doesn't just arrive on its own. It's carried through your blood. Which means if blood flow is sluggish, your muscles can feel heavy, tired, and starved for breath, even if you're eating and sleeping well. That's where nitrates come in. Found in vegetables like beetroot, spinach, and arugula, nitrates are natural compounds that help expand blood vessels and enhance oxygen delivery to your muscles. More oxygen means better endurance, less fatigue, faster recovery. Aiko was skeptical. "You're saying vegetables can help me climb again?" I smiled. "Try this first." We started with a simple habit: a fresh beetroot and banana smoothie every morning, 30 minutes before her walk. Within 2 weeks, she was climbing the stairs to the shrine without resting. Within a month, she was walking laps around the park with her granddaughter. "Same legs," she said. "New fire." That's the hidden power of blood flow. It isn't about pushing harder. It's about helping your body carry what it already has. Nitrates are not a miracle. They are nature's quiet support team, helping your blood reach where it matters most. But they're often overlooked. Why? Because they don't come in a pill. They come in a garden. And they require consistency, not just convenience. So if your legs feel like they're dragging you, if your breath runs out faster than it used to, maybe the problem isn't effort. Maybe it's oxygen. And the solution might be growing right in your backyard. Next, let's talk about something even more familiar. Something sweet, soft, yellow, and shockingly powerful for your muscles. Let's talk about the banana. And a surprising story from a man who used to think it was just a snack. 5. Bananas and potassium. A love story for your legs. I remember the first time I met Thomas. He was 65, a retired jazz drummer from New Orleans who had recently moved to Okinawa, hoping to find peace and warmer mornings. His days were simple: morning walks by the shore, a bit of gardening, and every once in a while, drumming with a small local band at a beachside cafe. But lately, his rhythm had been off. "My legs feel tight," he told me. "Like they're tuned too tight, ready to snap. I drink water, stretch, even take magnesium, but the cramps still come, especially at night." He said it like a confession, not just the pain, but the frustration of doing everything right and still losing his beat. I listened, and then I asked one quiet question. "How much potassium are you getting?" He looked puzzled. Like many people, Thomas didn't know that potassium is one of the most important electrolytes for muscle health. It's the mineral that helps muscles contract and release, keeps nerve signals balanced, and ensures your muscles don't fire at the wrong time, which is exactly what causes those sharp, sudden cramps. The problem is, potassium gets lost easily. Through sweat, through stress, even through medications. And without it, your muscles become unpredictable, overactive, exhausted. We made one simple change: a banana with breakfast. Every single morning. Sometimes with Greek yogurt. Sometimes blended into a smoothie with oats and peanut butter. And slowly, his body found its rhythm again. 2 weeks later, he played a full jazz set with no leg cramps. He came back grinning, holding a banana like it was part of his drum kit. "Simple," he said, "but it hit the right note." That's the lesson. Healing doesn't always come from something new. Sometimes it comes from looking again at something familiar and respecting its power. Bananas are not just snacks. They are potassium powerhouses, rich in vitamin B6 to support nerve function, and natural sugars to provide quick energy for tired muscles. They also contain tryptophan, a precursor to serotonin, the feel-good chemical, which is why many people feel a sense of calm after eating one. So if your muscles cramp, your legs feel jumpy, or your recovery feels incomplete, maybe it's time to revisit what's been sitting quietly on your kitchen counter. In the next section, we're going to explore something even more delicate. A small nut from the Amazon, often overlooked, yet packed with one of the most powerful minerals for regeneration. Let me introduce you to the story of Maria, and how just 2 Brazil nuts changed the way her legs healed. 6. The silent danger, selenium miracle or menace. Maria was a retired schoolteacher from Brazil, now living in a small town outside Osaka. She had come to Japan to live with her son, and every morning, she would walk to the market, humming old songs under her breath. But when she came to see me, her tone had changed. "I feel tired all the time," she said. "My legs are heavy, like they're made of wet sand. Even my knees tremble when I climb just a few steps." She had tried iron supplements, magnesium, more protein. Still, the fatigue lingered. It wasn't the kind of tiredness that comes from overworking, it was the kind that feels cellular, deep inside the body. When I looked at her blood work, one number stood out. She was extremely low in selenium. Selenium is a trace mineral, which means your body only needs a small amount. But that small amount does a great deal. It supports muscle regeneration, protects against cellular damage, and is a key player in reducing oxidative stress, the invisible inflammation that slows healing and weakens your legs over time. When you're low in selenium, your muscles may struggle to recover. You may feel slower, heavier, more fragile than you used to. So I gave Maria a simple suggestion. 2 Brazil nuts, I told her. Every day. No more, no less. Seemed too easy. But within 3 weeks, she came back different. Her energy was steadier. Her legs felt stronger. She had even started practicing Tai Chi again in the park. She laughed when she told me, "Something so small made me feel like myself again." But there's another side to this story. Selenium, while powerful, is also dangerous in excess. Too much of it can lead to toxicity, nausea, nerve damage, even hair loss, which is why dosing it through food, not pills, is so important. Just 2 Brazil nuts per day deliver your entire daily need. Beyond that, you cross from healing into harm. And that is the lesson. In health, more is not always better. Sometimes balance is everything. A single mineral, a single habit, a single change. That's all it takes to rebuild from the inside out if we do it with care. Next, we turn to something less exotic. Something creamy, comforting, rich in probiotics and slow-digesting protein. Let me tell you why Greek yogurt may be the best companion your legs never knew they needed, and how it helped an old fisherman find his strength again. 7. Gut to muscle. Why probiotics matter more than you think. Hajime was a 74-year-old fisherman from the coast of Wakayama. He had spent his life out at sea, muscles shaped by the rhythm of waves and nets. His hands were rough, his back straight, but when he came to see me, it wasn't about his strength. It was about his frustration. "No matter how well I eat," he said, "my legs still feel tired. I've added protein. I've eaten more greens, but it's like my body doesn't use it. Like the fuel is there, but the engine won't turn." That was the clue. You see, we often think that eating well is enough, that once food enters the mouth, nutrients automatically reach the muscles. But that's not how the body works. Between your plate and your strength lies one critical gateway: your gut. Inside your digestive system are trillions of bacteria, some helpful, some harmful. When the good ones flourish, they break down food efficiently, absorb key nutrients, and support the immune system. But when the gut is imbalanced, too much processed food, antibiotics, stress, even the healthiest meal can pass through without delivering what your body needs. In Hajime's case, years of painkillers for an old back injury had left his gut microbiome depleted. We didn't change his meals much. We simply added a small bowl of Greek yogurt every evening. Rich in probiotics, calcium, and casein protein, it worked slowly but surely. For weeks later, he returned with a quiet smile. "I can climb onto the boat again without my knees shaking," he said. "And I sleep better. My legs feel alive." That was all he needed. Because sometimes, strength doesn't come from what you add. It comes from what you absorb. Greek yogurt is one of the few foods that nourishes both your gut and your muscles. Its slow-digesting protein feeds your body through the night. Its probiotics rebuild your digestion. And its calcium strengthens the bones that carry you. But not all yogurts are created equal. Many commercial brands are filled with sugar and artificial flavors. What your body truly needs is plain, unsweetened Greek yogurt, thick, creamy, and alive with beneficial cultures. So if you feel like you're doing everything right but still running on empty, maybe the answer isn't in your muscles. Maybe it's in your gut. And now, as we near the end of this journey, there's one more piece to complete the puzzle. It's not a food. It's not a supplement. It's a routine, a simple practice that brings it all together, so your legs can finally do what they were meant to do. Let's build that together, one meal at a time. I met Yasuo one summer in a small village on the outskirts of Kyoto. A retired rice farmer, now in his late 60s, he had spent most of his life bending over in the fields, his legs carrying him through seasons of hard work. But something had changed. "Doctor," he said, rubbing his knees, "I can't keep up anymore. I stretch, I eat well, but my legs, they don't recover like they used to." For years, he had followed the standard advice. He'd take his walks, eat hearty meals, and do the stretches recommended in books. But despite his efforts, his recovery was slow, and his muscles still felt stiff after each day of work. I asked him one simple question: "Yasuo, when was the last time you actually focused on recovery? And not just exercise?" He looked at me, puzzled. You see, most people focus on getting stronger, on adding more weight, on pushing themselves further. But recovery, it's often an afterthought. The truth is, recovery isn't just about resting, it's about strategically nourishing your muscles and giving them the right time and support to heal. It's not enough to just avoid fatigue. You need a routine. Here's the secret. Your recovery routine should be just as intentional as your workouts. You don't have to do it all at once. But consistency is key. For Yasuo, the first change we made was introducing a simple daily recovery routine. He started his mornings with a banana for potassium. Then, after his walk, a handful of Brazil nuts for selenium. In the evening, he had a bowl of Greek yogurt for protein and probiotics to support digestion. But it wasn't just about the foods. Yasuo began to incorporate short stretches, not just after work, but before bed. This simple addition helped ease tension in his legs and prevent stiffness. 3 weeks later, he was back in the field, not just walking, but working without feeling like his muscles were fighting against him. Yasuo didn't just get stronger. He learned how to recover like a champion. That's the lesson. A great workout is only as good as your recovery. You can push your limits, but if you don't take care of the muscles when they need it most, all that effort can go to waste. The recovery traps to avoid: ignoring nutrition after exercise. Just drinking water isn't enough. You need proteins, fats, and minerals like magnesium and potassium to restore your muscles. Pushing too hard too soon. Recovery isn't a race. Build your routine gradually. Not getting enough sleep. Sleep is your body's natural recovery time. Without it, no amount of good nutrition will work. Create your own recovery routine. Start with simple meals that include the foods we discussed today. Add gentle stretches before bed. Focus on consistency rather than intensity. Now it's your turn. Take a moment today to reflect on your current routine. Are you giving your muscles what they truly need to recover? If not, I challenge you to start small. Add one new recovery habit this week, whether it's eating more potassium-rich foods, introducing a few minutes of stretching, or getting more rest. Remember, the journey to stronger legs isn't just about pushing harder, it's about smart recovery. So what will you change today? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more tips on how to keep your body in top shape for years to come.